This is TOEFL IBT speaking test, and this test evaluates your ability to communicate in English in an academic setting. It consists of 4 tasks. Task 1, express an opinion on a familiar topic. Listening, man, supports. He says the change is great because online catalogs are always up to date. For example, if a professor switches classrooms or office hours, the website reflects that immediately, but a printed catalog would be wrong for the whole semester. He also points out that students already use their phones and laptops for everything, from homework to registering for classes, so having the catalog online just makes sense. Woman disagrees. She thinks the decision is unfair because not everyone has constant access to reliable internet, especially commuter students or those who live off campus. She also argues that many students like the physical copy because it's easier to flip through quickly and to mark with highlights or notes. She even mentions that for first-year students, the printed catalog is helpful for planning because it gives them a clear overview of available courses without having to click through multiple web pages. Listening, the professor explains how rivers cause erosion over time. He describes how a river doesn't just transport water, it also carries sand, gravel, and tiny rock particles. As the river flows, these particles scrape against the riverbed and the banks, wearing them down. Over centuries, this constant scraping makes the river channel wider and deeper. He gives the example of the Colorado River, which has been cutting into solid rock for millions of years. The result is the Grand Canyon, one of the largest and most famous canyons in the world. He points out that the canyon is not the result of a single event but rather the slow, steady work of erosion. He also adds that rivers around the world, not just the Colorado, continue to shape landscapes in similar ways today.
I personally believe that studying in silence is far more effective than studying with music because it allows me to concentrate fully and retain information better. When music is playing, especially songs with lyrics or fast beats, I often find my attention divided. For example, last semester I had to prepare for a particularly difficult biology exam. At first, I tried studying at home with some background music, thinking it would help me relax. However, I noticed that I kept getting distracted by the lyrics and had to reread sections multiple times. Later, I moved to the library, where it was completely quiet. Surprisingly, I was able to memorize and understand the same material much faster. And I even felt less stressed because I wasn't constantly switching focus. In addition, silence allows me to think critically and make connections between different concepts, which is essential for subjects like biology or mathematics. While some people may argue that music can make studying more enjoyable or help with memorization, in my experience, it actually slows me down. For me, a quiet environment not only improves focus but also increases efficiency and overall learning quality, which is why I always prefer studying without any background noise. Extended response, 60/70s. The man strongly supports the university's decision to move all course catalogs online instead of providing printed copies. He thinks this change is very practical and convenient for students. First, he emphasizes that online catalogs are always up to date. For instance, if a professor changes office hours, a course is cancelled, or new courses are added, the website reflects it immediately, while printed catalogs can become outdated as soon as they are printed. Second, he mentions that most students already rely heavily on digital devices like phones, laptops, and tablets for checking schedules, registering for classes, and doing assignments. Therefore, accessing course information online fits naturally into their daily routines and avoids the need to carry around a heavy book. Third, he explains that online catalogs are easier and faster to navigate. Students can search for specific courses or filter by professors and time slots, which saves a lot of time compared to flipping through multiple pages in a printed catalog. Finally, he adds that moving online is also environmentally friendly, since it reduces paper usage. Overall, he believes the change will make planning classes more efficient, convenient, and environmentally responsible for all students. The professor explains that erosion is the gradual wearing away of the Earth's surface caused by natural forces such as water, wind, and ice. He gives the example of rivers to illustrate how this process works. As water flows, it carries soil, sand, and small rocks along with it. Over long periods of time, these materials scrape against the riverbed and the banks, slowly breaking down rocks and soil, which gradually makes the river channel wider and deeper. The professor highlights the Colorado River as a dramatic example. Over millions of years, the river has carved through solid rock, forming the Grand Canyon, one of the largest and most well-known canyons in the world. He also points out that erosion is not caused by a single event, but by continuous, slow processes that shape landscapes over time. This example shows how natural forces can both destroy and create landforms, like valleys and canyons, demonstrating the power of erosion to gradually change the Earth's surface. The professor explains that opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative that is given up when a choice is made. He gives two examples to illustrate this concept. First, for a student, if they choose to work part-time in the evening instead of attending a study group, the immediate benefit is earning money. However, the opportunity cost is the knowledge and preparation they miss by skipping the study session, which could negatively affect their exam performance or understanding of the subject. This shows that even decisions that seem beneficial have hidden costs. Second, for a company, if it spends $1 million on advertising, it may attract more customers and increase sales. But the opportunity cost is what the money could have achieved if invested elsewhere, such as improving technology, expanding production capacity, or hiring additional staff. The professor emphasizes that considering opportunity cost is important because it helps both individuals and organizations make smarter decisions. In other words, every choice involves trade-offs, and by thinking about what is sacrificed, people can weigh the benefits and make more informed, efficient decisions.